Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Mandy Solachek from Premier Marketing's Long-Term Care and Short-Term Care Department. Today, we are super excited. We have Mr. Tony Clark with us, Regional Sales Director at AETNA, and they are going to be presenting to you all AETNA's newest short-term care offering, exclusive to Texas. So we're excited to have another edition in Texas. We're always excited to have something new to talk about with short-term care. So today we are going to do a question and answer also at the end of the presentation. So in your webinar feature here, you will see a box that says questions. Feel free, any questions that arise as they're going through their presentation or towards the end, please feel free to put them in there. We will be answering any ones that we can at the end of the presentation. And then also too, if you are having any sort of audio issues or can't see any screens or anything, you can reach me pretty quickly through the questions box, or you can utilize the chat feature as well. Let me know if you're having any trouble, and I can always try to help you out while the presentation is still rolling. So without further ado, Tony, I will let you take it away.
All right. Well, thank you, Mandy. I appreciate it. And thanks, everybody, for joining us. It's always a pleasure to do these types of things with the good folks at Premier, one of our leaders in our distribution partners, and their passion, obviously, for these short-term care products with Katie and Mandy and those folks is tremendous. And they're always asking us to do these different things. And we always like to do them because, especially this, think about this new Texas short-term care recovery care plan. We back in the day when we first kicked off recovery care and introduced it, we had it in Texas, and we had the opportunity to have it there for, I want to say about 6 months or so. Some of you maybe even remember that. And it took off great. And we had Texas was our leader, our biggest state, that was selling the recovery care. It was even new. And then unfortunately we had to pull it. And it's taken us, I don't know, Jamie might know off the top of his head, but it's taken us several years before we could finally get something back in there. And so we're really excited to introduce this, and we appreciate our partnership with Premier, appreciate what all you folks on the phone do. So without saying any much more than that, I want to go ahead and turn it over to Jamie Sarno, He is our guest speaker today. And the reason that I have him speaking with you all today is because Jamie was very instrumental in helping us create both our short-term care for home care as well as our recovery care. And so with his involvement and his history of selling these products himself and being an agent, his perspective, I think, when you're talking to agents is it comes from a different view rather than someone at a home office, a sales guy who, talks about all of our products with that and our whole portfolio of products. But his focus is just primarily these short-term care products. So without any more talk, I'll turn it over to Jamie. And Jamie, if you want to take it over, run them through what you have.
Hey, thanks, Tony. Appreciate that intro. That was perfect, because I thought I was going to have to say, hey, why was this policy created? And Tony hit on it right there. We had a home care rider attached to that recovery care when it first launched in Texas. And then they said, hey, we don't want you to have this. This makes it over a year's worth of coverage. So that's really what it is. You all know this, that no long-term care, short-term care, anything that has a benefit over 365, well, I should say 365 days or more is long-term care. Anything under 365, which is why the recovery care is 360, is considered short-term care. So Texas felt when you add another year of home health care to a recovery care plan, that's giving you 2 years of benefit on one plan, which would make it long-term care. So they said, no, you can't do that, which I get it. Aetna got it. But in other states, it flows perfectly. But what we were missing, because, and I will speed this up, I promise. I just want to make sure you understand the why. We do have Home Care Plus in Texas, which I'm sure all of you know, which is a great plan. The underwriting is only a 1-year look back. It's amazing. You can write people that have health conditions that you normally can't get. First of all, the underwriting on this new plan, the new plan is called Home Recovery Care. And the great thing, what makes it different about Home Care Plus is that it covers both medical home health care and non-medical home health care. What are those? A medical home health care is what you get what Medicare will approve, where they come out in a visiting nurse type of situation. They'll do physical therapy, speech therapy, respiratory therapy. That's all good and well, but we know that Medicare is very limited on what they do. This new plan, Home Recovery Care, will pay for that, but it will also pay for non-medical, meaning visiting angels, where they just come in and they sit with mom or dad, grandma or grandpa, and they're there to help them throughout the day with activities of daily living, or maybe just light housekeeping, cooking a meal, shopping for groceries, driving them to the doctor. And I'll get into that right now. So the protection series, just an addition, and I'm very jealous that I do hold a Texas license. During COVID, I was calling Texas all the time, but I'm based out of Kentucky. So a lot of what I do is close to here, but this plan is unique that it's only for Texas. The benefit's great, and we're going to jump right into it. So a lot of these are Aetna slides, and I like them, but needs analysis, what to ask your clients. You all know this. I'm not telling you anything that you don't know, but these things are simple. Mrs. Jones, where would you like to recuperate if you have an accident or sickness? You know, a lot of them are going to say, well, home. Could you afford $12,000 per month for care? Most people are going to say no. And then anytime that I give a monthly amount, I will always throw the annual on there. Could you afford $12,000 a month or $150,000 a year? Well, that would be hard. Yes, it would. Do you want to protect your home and your savings from spin down, going on Medicaid? Well, yes, these are all, you know, the answers to these questions. And that's what the comfort is of us agents asking questions that we really know the answer to.
Hey, Jamie.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you there. It looks
No.
like from the audience that your slides are not moving. We're still seeing the very first Aetna purple background.
Yes.
Oh,
What
there we
I'm
go.
going
Now
to
we see a
do,
different slide.
well, this happened when I'm using GoToWebinar. So here's what I'm going to do, guys. You're going to see my slides on the side. Don't let this throw you off, because I'm going to do this. And we're going to just go down the line here. So sorry, it's got to look like this for now, but you can see needs analysis,
No worries.
what to add. Okay, sorry, I use Apple products and sometimes it doesn't jive well with other ones. So you can see it right there. Where would you like to recuperate if you have an accident or sickness? Can you afford $12,000 per month for care? Do you want to protect your home and savings from spin down? Like I said, we all know the answers to these. And when you see this brochure, if you haven't seen it yet, for home recovery care, you're going to love it, because we give these stats, and it just gives, here's why I love a good brochure. And we really worked hard on this brochure. Everyone did. Tony, me, everybody there on the sales team. And what I always picture is when I leave my folder, or you send them a folder, it's got the brochure in it. And when you leave the house, a lot of people can get that buyer's remorse, right? And they go and they'll pull open their drawer and they pull out the folder and they start looking at everything that you left them. And they're wondering, do I need this? And really, having just simple statistics like this: 70% of Americans who reach 65 will be unable to care for themselves at some point without assistance. 795,000 Americans have a stroke every year. 33% of older people 65 and over will have a fall. 90% of older adults have some type of chronic disease, and almost 80% have more than one. So this lets them think, you know what, that's what Tony told me. Yep, I need this, and they put the folder back. We don't know how many times that happens, and we have these safeguards built into what we told them, what we left them, and Aetna is conscious of that. They want to make sure that they are helping all of us brokers out there that not only sell it, but have something that has longevity to it, where it will renew year after year after year with a stream of income. So be prepared. The median cost in the US was $53,768 for a homemaker, and then $54,921 for home health aides. Care costs are up year after year, 3 to 6%, depending on the type of care. So, you know, when you're talking about cost of care, it's different when you just have a homemaker type non-medical home health care. It can range anywhere from $20 to $24 an hour. If you have someone, a registered nurse, a physical therapist, it's going to be more. So when you look at these median costs for the US, and then we get into what this plan actually pays, you're going to see a huge benefit amount there. So home recovery care, only available in Texas, flexible home care coverage for medical and non-medical, I've told you that, can be sold with Continental Life, Aetna's recovery care product for greater protection. You can pair those together. There's nothing wrong with an individual plan for nursing home and assisted living and adding another year of home health care. Now they have actually 2 years. Same underwriting questions as recovery care. So you're going to see the identical underwriting, same application, same drug list. You know, there's a drug list at AETNASeniorProducts.com. You can check to make sure that your insured, your applicant, doesn't have a drug that's not acceptable under the plan. Pays the same competitive commissions. You all know that. So, as I said, medical, non-medical, personal or home care, help with eating, bathing, toileting, dressing, personal hygiene, help with moving in and out of bed or a chair. These are the ADLs, if you can't tell, except for this one. Laundry and light housekeeping. Oh, my Siri's going off, sorry. I'm having issues today. And meal preparation. This is what people need. And again, I'm preaching to the choir here. When someone says, I want to stay home as long as I can, we're giving them the tools to be able to do that. And that we do this. Aetna is making sure that any home healthcare agency in Texas, as long as it's licensed as a home healthcare agency, this plan is going to pay. And it will probably come up here. I've only showed this slides. This is my second time showing it. But remember, what activates this is if you can't perform 2 of the 6 ADLs or you're cognitively impaired. That gets the plan rolling. Then all you need are 3 one-hour visits per week on separate days. So if I have just that 1 hour each day for 3 days in a row or every other day, it doesn't matter, as long as it adds up to 1 hour 3 times a week on separate days, they're going to get the entire amount of benefit in their hands. If they don't owe that amount of money, that's their money to keep. And I know I'm jumping ahead of myself. Medical care, nursing care, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, nutritionist services, help with taking medications, transportation to and from appointments, shopping for food, medication, medical supplies. So this does everything all around. And again, if you sell in any other states other than Texas, and you have the recovery care home care rider available, it does the same thing. It does the same exact thing, but we don't explain it as well as we have for the Texas plan. Issue ages, 50 to 89 years old. The benefit, believe it or not, on Home Care Plus, it's $1,200 a week. You can go $150 increments on home recovery care all the way up to $3,000 per week. It's craziness. But I'm going to tell you, as an agent, I call the actuary. I go, "You're going to do 3,000?" And the actuary said, "I'm fine with it. It's Texas. It's a big state. It's a great place to test it out." I said, "Wonderful. This is amazing." And when the actuary says they're good with it, with confidence, I was good with it. So $3,000 a week is one heck of a benefit, and it's going to help a lot of people out there. And when you see the benefit premium, you're going to agree. Includes lifetime maximum. Now, here's what another interesting thing. The Department of Insurance regulates everything in each state, right? So they're the ones that said you can't have the home care rider on recovery care. Well, they also said on recovery care, you cannot have it paid twice in a lifetime. But you're 3-4 years down the road, we sent in all the information to file this, and they said, yeah, you can have the maximum now of twice in a lifetime. So if you offer someone, and you can see there, choose 13-week plan, 25-week, 39-week, or 52-week plan, you can actually get that twice in a lifetime. And the way you access that is, if you have 6 months, like let's say I use home health care, I have a 52-week plan, and I'm out of commission for 4 months in my home. I have home care come in, it works fantastic, and I'm better. I don't need them anymore. As long as I can perform 5 of the 6 activities after the home care's finished for a 6-month period, and I don't need hands-on care, I don't have home care anymore, and I can perform 5 of the 6 activities of daily living, if something else happens to me after that 6 months, I am replenished up to 52 weeks again, because I get double 52 weeks. So I get a total, think of this, think of a pool of 104 weeks that I have access to if I have a 6-month gap. I know I have 52 weeks, even if I don't have a gap. But anywhere along the line, I have a 6-month gap between care, I get replenished up to 52 weeks with a total of 104 weeks there. So as long as I have weeks available, they're going to keep replenishing me and replenishing me. Most insurances don't work like that, as you know. This one does. Now we're going to get into the costs. So here's what I did. I love that 3,000 benefit so much, I maxed it out. I wanted to do an age 50. We have a lot of long-term care agents out there that, their favorite age is 50. And I'm going to get into the 65-year-old here on the next slide. You can see just a little bit of it. But this gives you an idea of what the cost is. 13-week plan, maxed out at 3,000 is 39,000, which is a great benefit just for 3 weeks. Think about how long that $39,000 could last them. It costs $31.67 a month. Premiums do not increase on this plan because you have a birthday, or your client has a birthday, or they have an illness. The only way Aetna can change the premiums is if they change everyone in the state, and they have to show a reason. They have to show that they're losing money. As you know, on Continental Life, Aetna has had short-term nursing home plans and home care plans since 1996. They have never had a rate increase to this day, which you hear me knocking on wood. They're, Aetna's a great company. It means stability. So you can see all of those. If we max it out, 52 weeks, $156,000, only $87.16 a month. It's unbelievable. It really is. So let's go to a 65-year-old. Here you go, somebody on Medicare. And again, you don't have to give them $3,000 a week. I was maxing it out because I'm excited about that amount. And being an old long-term care agent, as I was for 24 years, selling the need, we talk a lot about that. When you sell the need and you can get through to someone that they need $3,000 a week for 52 weeks and they're 65 years old or whatever it may be, that's when people will pay $2,000 a year, $3,000, $5,000, $6,000 a year to have what they need to protect them. By protecting themselves, they're protecting their home, they're protecting their investments, they're protecting everything, because they're the first one. They have insurance on their home, they have insurance on their car. They know nothing is going to take their money. This is the loophole that can take everything from them, and that's making sure that themselves is going to be taken care of. They have health insurance, but there's a gap. This is the gap that needs to be filled. Additional plan features. Covers care received in policy holder's home or home of a relative. It says that, but I think it'll take care of you in anybody's home, as long as you have the insurance and they want to put up with you being there. But it's good to know. These are questions a lot of agents will ask. Can I go to anyone's home? Yes, you can. Here's another one we're always asked. So you mean if I have extra money left over, I have 3 visits, and let's say it only cost me $1,000, but I have a $3,000 plan, I have $2,000 left to spend any way I like. That's non-taxable? Yes, that's non-taxable. You will not be taxed on that. And is the policy tax deductible? No, it's not, because it's not a qualified long-term care plan. So there you go. It's taxed money you're paying for this, so it's non-taxable benefits. Policyholder can choose their own licensed provider. Medicare approval is not required. I told you that, but there it is in writing. Benefits paid to policyholder or their selected, benefits paid go to the policyholder, their selected provider. You can assign it to the home health care agency. I wouldn't do that personally, because they're good luck getting whatever money is left over. I would tell your policyholders to pay it themselves, let Aetna reimburse them, and just do it that way. I think it's better for everyone. Benefits are paid in addition to Medicare or any health care or long-term care plan. Again, these are questions we're always asked, so we thought we'd put it in the presentation. So it doesn't matter if they could have 5 long-term care plans. The bill's paid in full. Aetna doesn't care. They will pay in full. It's not up to $3,000 a week, or it's not up to what the home health care agency charged. If they show that they had 3 visits on separate days for the duration of an hour, it's going to pay the benefit. They don't want to see any bills. They just want to see the visits. Guaranteed renewable for life. And no deductible. There is no elimination period. So you can only buy this to where it starts on the very first day. And remember, there is no prior hospitalization required. So as long as those 2 of the 6 ADLs are cognitively impaired, that's what gets it going. Benefits are paid. Each week you receive, there it is, 3 or more 1-hour professional home care service visits in your home, provided you cannot provide 2 or more of the daily activities, or you have cognitive impairment, including Alzheimer's. Pre-existing conditions are 6 months. So anything that you've been treated for, the applicant's been treated for, So 6 months prior to the effective date, anything, treatment would be whatever they've taken medication for, whatever they've seen a doctor for, if depending on what it is, would not be covered the first 6 months of the policy. After 6 months, anything and everything, a new disease is covered. And you won't see in limitations and exclusions, you won't see COVID in there. COVID is covered. If you can't perform ADLs or you're cognitively impaired, it's going to pay. Ask all the questions. Okay, so legal put this in here. You all know this, but I'm going to say it. Make sure the applicant understands and answers to each health question. Inaccurate or incomplete answers can lead to issues with filing a claim. And you all know this. There's a 2-year contestability period. Just like with us, if we're taking out an insurance policy, we wouldn't want the company to rescind us that first 2 years because something was omitted from the application. And I know you all know that. All applications go through an RX prescription drug check during the underwriting process. So remember, AETNASeniorproducts.com, you can find the drug list, and there are drug lists for each and every product Aetna Senior Supplemental offers, for the Med Sup, for the cancer, heart attack, stroke, for everything. So make sure you're looking at the correct drug list for home recovery care in the state of Texas. It will be identical to recovery care because it's the same underwriting, but just know when you submit that application, as long as everything says no, as long as it doesn't get a prescription drug hit, that they're taking a medication that's not acceptable for cancer or Parkinson's, that app, if you don't know this, through our electronic e-app, will be issued within 5 minutes, sometimes faster. You can watch it get approved. If you're in someone's house, it's pretty cool to show them that if you're sending it by e-app. Filing a claim. You're not going to believe this. How many insurance companies will say this? Claim forms are not required. Appropriate documentation is required. If requested, a generic claim form is available for use when filing a home health care benefit claim. So that may sound odd. I have been associated with Continental Life Aetna now for 12, going on 13 years. I've never seen a claim form because they'll say, here's what we need: a doctor's plan of care saying they can't perform the ADLs or cognitive impairment. I need something showing the 3 visits per week from the home health care agency. Is that it? Yep. And if they need anything else in between, like there's a question of this or that, they are going to order the doctor records if it's within 2 years of filing a claim when they took out the policy. If it's after 2 years, the policy's been enforced 2 years or older, they're not even going to pull the medical records. There's no need to. They're not going to spend the money to pull medical records. They have to pay the claim as long as the ADLs and the cognitive impairment are there. And easy to use online tools. We're almost done, ready for questions. Quotes on the go. Make sure you've downloaded this. It will make your life simple. I have no rate sheets in front of me. You don't have to get on the quote and enroll, the platform at Aetna Senior Products. There is no login, free mobile app. Quick quotes in the palm of your hand. Quote multiple products at one time. Download it, and it's just called, if you have an Apple product, an iPhone, or you have an Android, go to the app stores that they have and just don't put in Aetna, just put in quotes on the go. And you will see that purple Aetna color. Download it, you'll love it. It looks just like this. All you do, you're going to see that screen, zip code, put in their age, male or female. They want to know that for the Medicare supplement because it doesn't matter on all the other products. And you are off to the races. You're going to quote every product. It's amazing. And there is the great quotes Quote and enroll at AETNASeniorProducts.com. Easy online tool for electronic applications. Apply for multiple products at one time. It's kind of like at the Amazon, putting things in your cart. Automated underwriting with most decisions within minutes. We talked about that. And multiple signature options. I know, again, I'm preaching to the choir, but you all know that there is an option. If I'm talking to Mrs. Jones, I'm in Kentucky, Mrs. Jones is in Texas, or vice versa, and I'm going to sell her a policy. I get on the quote and enroll. I just have to ask her this. To sign the application, Mrs. Jones, I'm going to ask you a personal security question. Your answer will be your signature. What is your mother's maiden name? And she says McGillicuddy. After I learn how to spell it, I type it in. She does nothing. I type it in from Kentucky, hit enter, it signs everything, the HIPAA form, the application, a replacement form if necessary, all the banking information, just with her personal security question. And the one I like is mother's maiden name. And I'm done. Nothing even gets emailed to Mrs. Jones. And don't forget, you got great people at the home office. The home office opened back up, and I think they're still giving people the option. So, there's like 10 people there right now because nobody wants to go back. But these great people, look at that Tony's face. That's your guy right there. Tony Clark, Regional Vice President. He's got Dan Memory, his Regional Sales Manager. And if you want to talk to somebody that knows her stuff, Tanya Addison, Regional Sales Specialist at the home office, unbelievable. But any of these people are great and will help you anytime. So, and there's their info. There's Tony's on the west. So take a snapshot of that. And I think we're ready for questions. Yes.
Hey, Jamie, this is Tony.
Yes.
I know you know that, but for the folks on the phone, hey, one thing I wanted to tell you, it's a little odd the way we have this set up. While I'm considered the West Regional Vice President, technically Texas falls under actually a great guy that I actually hired. Not bragging about that, but I did, Kevin Moore, who actually handles Texas. So if you're looking at that and you take a snapshot of it and you're looking at the states, you're not going to see Texas in my list of states. But don't let that throw you. Everybody here can help you. But like Jamie said, it's I work with the good folks at Premier, so that's why I'm on this. But we're doing it for the folks in Texas, so that's as clear as mud. Sorry about
Tony,
that, but we're all here.
I apologize.
No, I just like that because if people do look at the states and they're going, well, wait a minute, he said Tony and it says Kevin Moore. Yeah, Kevin actually lives down around Dallas, but he's moving to San Antonio or down around San Antonio. So, but he's responsible for a lot of the stuff that's done in Texas. So just FYI, if you're looking at that, I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Guys, I'm going to decipher that. He's saying, don't call him. Call Kevin Moore.
No. That's funny. But no, because I've had people say that. They'll say, "Are you my man?" I'll help you. You bet. I actually used to work Texas. I used to before when I hired Kevin as my regional sales manager. He actually worked for me, and I worked Texas for a few years, and then we made Kevin kind of my equal regional vice president. And because Kevin was in Texas, he just took it over. So it made sense, right? Because he's there and I'm not. So yeah. So that's all it is.
Okay, great. Thank you. Do we have any questions out there? I'm trying to look. I don't see any.
Yeah, I've got a couple. Let's see here. Are there any limitations on stacking any of the products available in Texas?
That is a great question. I need to add that to this slide, so thank you for that. Yes, you got to be careful because it used to be, as you know, $1,200 was the limit per week that you could have in the state of Texas. So now that they've added a product, home recovery care that has a $3,000 limit, what they have done is, so now in Texas, we can write up to $3,000. Now, not on the Home Care Plus. I know this gets confusing. Home Care Plus still has a maximum of $1,200, but let's say you have clients out there that have Home Care Plus and they're maxed out at $1,200 per week. Yes, you can add the new Texas Home Recovery Care to that, but you cannot go over $3,000 as a combined total. So you would have $1,200 on the Home Care Plus, and you could go up to $1,800 a week on Home Recovery Care. So you'd have a combined benefit of $3,000 per week with both plans. Does that make sense? Did I say that right?
Makes sense.
I think you did. Yeah.
I don't think you all were listening. So no.
There's not a test on this, is there?
No, there's not. But in all the other states, if you work in any other state other than Texas, the maximum is still $1,200 per week in all other states. That's why I say Texas is very special. You all have something that is a game changer as far as short-term nursing care goes and being at home. You all really have something there. This plan does it all. It's priced right. So yeah, great question. Thank you.
Well, that comment kind of leads to my next question. And you probably, even if you knew the answers, you might not be able to tell it, but do you think there's any plans to move this style of product to other states?
I can tell you,
so good.
There's talk about it right now, but nothing where nothing. It probably wouldn't happen for the next 6 months if that decision's made soon, and it would be specific states. But yes, there is talk about that. So never say never. When it was built, it was just going to be Texas only, and now they're looking at certain states. So there you go.
Okay. Thank you. Let's see, another one here. So if you're currently already contracted and appointed in Texas with Aetna, is this product just automatically added to an agent's product list?
It is. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, sorry. And then I have just one more. Is this, I think when it was announced, the email went out, is this product still going to be e-app only for the time being?
It is going to be e-app only. If you look for it on the portal to order like brochures, it's actually kind of deceiving. If any of you have ever been on the portal and you can go by state to order supplies, and you will look for this plan, you won't see it. You got to look under details. When you're on Texas, go down to where it says details, because it says you can get the paper applications, paper kits for the other products. Since it does not have a paper app, they're not putting it there, which it's hard to find. But I don't think there's going to be a paper app. Believe it or not, the company, and again, this adds up to a lot of applications, but can you believe that, and Tony, I think you know better than me, I think 96% of everything is e-app that Aetna receives. I think there's only 4% that's sending in paper, which that's still a large number, but they're trying to get away from it. And I'm an old paper agent, trust me. I went kicking and screaming. I didn't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. I know paper. Please go to the quote and enroll app, and they have what's called the sandbox. Click on the sandbox, and it's just like what you think. A sandbox, you play in it, right? You can play around with the app. You can't mess anything up. You're not submitting an app, but you can get the hang of it. Or here's what I do. Well, there isn't a paper app, so you can't do that. Here's how I shifted into that, if you really want to know. I would take a paper app, then I would put everything in as an e-app. And I'm sure a lot of you probably do that because you're at home, you can take your time, you can put it in. Unfortunately, there is no paper app, but please try to do that e-app. Don't not sell this because there's no paper app, please. Sorry, that long explanation, but no paper app.
No worries. Well, that is all I had for questions. Of course, anyone in our audience, if you have any further questions, need help with supplies as far as getting brochures, things like that, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Katie here at Premier. We are happy to always assist and answer any of your questions on the Aetna short-term care products. But Jamie and Tony, thank you so much for coming today. We're always so happy to have you guys.
Thank you for the invite. That was great. Thanks everyone for listening.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure to do these things, and hopefully the folks out there got some good feedback from Jamie's presentation and or got some good hints and ideas on things, how this new product works. And yeah, I appreciate Jamie for joining us too.
Hey, thank you guys for the invite, really.
You're very, very welcome. Well, with that, everyone, thank you so much for attending today. We will be sending out a follow-up recording of this presentation, as well as included some marketing materials as well. And again, thanks for joining us. We're so happy to have you here on our webinars, and check us out for our next one. Have a great day.